Why do you hate America so much?
Because to me, America was built on genocide, slavery, and colonialism.
Okay. So his tribe, I guarantee if you look up his tribe, did his tribe wage war with any other tribes? Did his tribe defeat other tribes? Did they displace other tribes? I mean, I looked into the history of American Indian tribes and their internecine warfare, and it was sanguinary. I mean, it was absolutely bloodthirsty, all that I read. You can look into it for yourself. Maybe I'm just genteel, and that's why all of the cannibalism and decapitations and etc., the horror stories of this tribe about these tribes and that tribe about those tribes, you've got to look into it there, because it's not out there for basic regular consumption in the anti-white narrative. So I'd be willing to bet that this guy, so you say, and where does this come from, by the way? Where does it come from? The anti-white narrative. How was America founded? How was America founded? Well, a white tribe showed up in North America, and there were a bunch of red and brown tribes, sometimes peaceful, sometimes fighting each other, sometimes committing horrific atrocities, sometimes enslaving each other, sometimes cutting the babies out of wombs. I mean, you can just look it up for yourself. And the white tribe did the exact same. It engaged in some diplomacy, it made allies, it waged war, and the white tribe won. So eat it, you motherfucker, eat it!
And we have been through so much trauma, and America.
Okay, so his American Indian ass through so much trauma. I want you to compare this old villainous garbage, anti-white garbage, with that little white girl who's through the trauma. He grows up in a country where the conquerors, the people who won, built a country called America. We named it. We called it the United States of America. We built a government. It is the most productive and was the most beautiful place, etc., on planet Earth. And unlike other conquered peoples, this conqueror, this white conqueror, decided to totally honor and respect your defeated ass. You're defeated. I mean, I know that some people call the American Indians red, so you could maybe red ass. The white people with their white asses won. And then your red ass was celebrated to the heavens as an American Indian. You're all over the money. We left everything you named almost. We allowed to stay named with the names that American Indian tribes gave those things. Total honor, total respect, welfare out the wazoo, entire segments of this country. Just hand it over. Even though you're defeated, show me in history where that happens. Show me in history another conqueror that is like, we'll give you state level size pieces of land, even though you're defeated, even though we just could take it all, even though we could just run you into the sea. We give you not like a little strip like the Israelis, not like a little tiny strip that's an open air prison that they build fences around. Oh no. We give you giant swaths of this country when we don't owe you shit. And then we take our tax dollars, our inventions, our medicine, our agricultural science, our engineering science. We funnel that all to you. We funnel it to you. And then a great many of you are able to build, as a consequence, we hand out licenses to gigantic businesses that we protect, that we say only you can run, only you can make the hundreds of millions of dollars on, only your people. And then we say free schooling for you, free everything for you, bending over backwards for you. And all the where does the trauma take place? This community knows. The only place it takes only place it takes place is in the anti-white narrative. In fiction, they're all oppressed. In fiction, they're all downtrodden. In fiction, white men follow them around with bullwhips 24/7. Taking from you what? What? You know better than all these white people watching what it's like in your tribe, what they produce. I chime in and I watch your little dances, your little ceremonies. They're fucking wearing our sneakers. They're using our dyeing techniques, our dyes, our clothes, playing music out of electronics invented and created by our people. But then you look at that white little girl. Who's put upon? You old motherfucker. Who's put upon? Who's suffering? You grow up in a world where the white race tells you how special you are and then rewards you with being born that way with all of this and more that I've articulated. And that little white girl, all these white children, they're brought into a world where they're told how evil they are for being born. So you're born being told how special and how peerless you are for being born American Indian, non-white. And the white children are brought into a world being told how peerless they are in their evil of being born white.
Doesn't even realize it. They don't know what we've been through. And
he can't articulate it because there's nothing there.
I don't hate Americans. I dislike this this experiment, this failing experiment.
This country has never been an experiment. And any conservative content creator telling you that, I think should be verbally punched in the face. Verbally punch them in the face with our lexical legerdemain. Verbally punch them in the face with our lexical legerdemain. It is not an experiment. America is a people. It is the white race. It is the people who found this country. You know what? I've been, since I was a child in junior high school, I have been telling adults that we don't have to disavow our creation to allow others to participate and to laud the participation and contributions of others. You don't have to do that. I mean, effectively, what's happened is that the white race built a house. We called the house America, the United States. And then other races of people showed up, they wanted to participate, or they were brought in against their will by selfishly individualistic anti-white white people who were harming us first before they were harming any other group. And then the wife of the house said, don't say that this house is ours. You're going to make them feel unwelcomed. You're going to make them feel bad about themselves because they didn't build it. You just leave that part out. It's just tacitly known. It's just known without saying that we built it and that they're contributing and we can laud them and everything. And then the dumb white guys, gelded as they were, they said, oh, yes, dear. Yes, I won't say it because I don't want to make them feel bad. And I've been saying since I was a child, if they feel bad over it, fuck them. I don't give a shit. This is ours. This is my country. This is my people's country. This is our soil, filled with blood and tears of our people, filled with our labor, filled with our memories. It isn't theirs. It isn't an experiment. It isn't for the multiracial masses of the world. It's ours. And at the same time, I love and cherish and laud people of all races who come to this country, adopt it, and contribute to it. 100, not one jot less. I don't have to disavow what's mine and what belongs to my people to honor people who adopt this country and contribute to it. Are you insane? Well, what ended up happening over time? Over time, they know that it's ours. We can that's just tacitly known, became it's an experiment. It's not yours. And then that became, you don't have a culture. You don't have a people. And white people agreeing to that. What's our culture? We don't have one. Well, you've disavowed everything. Exactly. You don't have a culture. You don't have a country. You've disavowed it all.
because one of your most important documents, it talks about how all men are created equal.
I always find this amusing when anti-whites disparage everything that's white and then misuse these statements of white men to defend their anti-white positions.
Declaration of Independence. And then when you get down to the bottom, it says the merciless savage Indians. That's what they refer to us as, the merciless savage Indians.
That's how you were behaving. Not every one of you. There were American Indian tribes that white tribes allied with. And they weren't merciless and savage toward us. And guess what, bro? You're over there saying the exact same thing about the white race. You're over there saying, well, the white race was merciless and savage. You have no idea what we've been put upon. You didn't experience shit. You haven't suffered with shit. Your ancestors fought my ancestors and yours lost. Get over it.
You say that you're...
Okay, so he's making that point because he totally misunderstands, like the rest of the anti-whites out there, that the all men created equal is this idea that the founding fathers of America were articulating, that there are no differences among men and the peoples of man, that they're all the exact same. There are no talents. There are no differences. There are no talents that are better or worse given different environments. No, they're just all the exact same. And so you're such hypocrites that you would refer to people who were murdering your women and children out on the... You go look it up for yourself. See if there were any American Indian tribes that did that sort of thing. Go look it up for yourself. And that you would dare call them murderous or savage or whatever it was.
Your declaration, your Constitution, you're an American Indian, but you don't seem to believe you're an act.
So there you have the pushback. This is your country, the disavowal. This is the conservative response. This is the conservative response that Tiffany will have, that Nala will have. This is their country. They're destroying their own country. How weird of them. I mean, this is so disgusting. This is so despicable.
Actual American.
I'm Anishinaabe, and my allegiance is to the Anishinaabe Nation.
Okay, so I respect this guy as much of as much of an anti-white garbage human being as he is. I give more respect for him because he's like, your country. Here you have the conservative trying to disavow what we've done and say, oh, it belongs to you, non-white man. Why would you destroy that? Has that worked yet, Waters, on your brain? It hasn't worked. That's that abstractionizing of what we created and giving it away, disavowing it for ourselves. White people didn't do it. The black race built, oh, in this case, it was the American Indians built the country. Just keep giving it away. Does it work? No. This guy responds and says, look, your country, my loyalty is to my tribe. You know what, buddy? I feel the same way.
And to the other First Nation peoples of this country, that's where my allegiance.
Okay, so his allegiance not only to his particular American Indian tribe, but to all American Indian tribes in opposition to the white race. But Waters is not even going to mention that it's an attack on the white race.
Allegiance lies. I do not stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. We do not stand for that flag because that flag does not stand for us.
Mike, what do you believe gives you the right to top?
The flag doesn't stand for us. This never ends, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter. The only time it ends is when there are no more white people.
Topple our statues.
Well, it's not our statues. It's that one in particular. I believe Christopher Columbus should never take up space in the public square. He's a rapist. He's a murderer. And that's what I don't understand.
He should be executed for saying that about Christopher Columbus. He should be totally executed. If I were in charge, that would be treason, and it would be, if found guilty, capital punishment. This is our hero. I don't care what you think about him. You'll keep it to yourself. You're definitely not going to touch his statue because that's our memory of him. That's me. I am in that statue. You ain't going to touch it.
Is why would you look up to this guy? I mean, he got lost, for heaven's sakes. There was really no redeemable qualities.
Look, he's laughing at it. You're right. You're right. He got lost.
There was no redeemable qualities of this guy. He brought alcohol, Satan, and Jesus with him. And those have done so much damage to our people.
So for toppling the statue, the judge sentenced you to teach about the American genocide to young school kids. I'm not sure if that judge had the best idea there.
Whenever I talk to anybody, a group of people, the first thing I tell them.
What is the American genocide? Is that at university and in education what they are now calling the defeat of the American Indian tribes by the white tribe? Is that what they're calling it? The American genocide? You know, it's really, I find completely amusing about being the anti-whites being in power and being able to communicate this on a widespread scale, to use the ugliest word, because they know when you say genocide, when anyone says genocide, we have all been infected with visuals of bodies laid up, emaciated bodies laid up like cordwood, black and white photos, horrific. People emaciated and nigh death behind these fences and everything, concertina wire all around, or the equivalent thereof. And so it evokes, and all of the attendant emotions that are connected to that, it evokes all of that in us. And so and something that has been inflicted by the white race on non-white people. They draw this up, and yet all of these genocided peoples are still here. They're still here. In other words, there wasn't a genocide. There was merely a defeat. But is that what they're calling it now? The American genocide?
Them as a message for the non-natives, a message for the white people.
You see, I did not even watch this all the way through. I watched the first like 20, 30 seconds of it, and I knew I would want to speak to it. He is talking about white people. We knew that. Waters on his brain knew that. But he wants to turn it into an abstraction. He wants to disavow the creation and say, oh, no, your hatred is not for me as a white person and white people. Your hatred is for the country, but it shouldn't be, because the country is yours. It's not mine. It doesn't belong to my people. It's yours. Why are you hating it? And again, has never worked. It has never worked.
That you were not here, you didn't do it. I wasn't here, and it did not happen to me. But the animosity, and see, we're not blaming them, but the animosity comes from the fact that...
Okay, so not blaming the white people today, but you got to make amends. We got to white erase you from everything.
They have it all. They already took it all. And
they have, the white race has it all. Come on, translate. You know, if Jesse Waters wanted to do any good, he would pin this guy down. So we're talking about the white race. Go ahead now. Mike. Go ahead, Mike. Is his name really Mike? Are you kidding me? So he's speaking in English. Why don't we have an interpreter? He should be speaking in his American Indian dialect with 250 words. He should be speaking in that, from that particular tribe, 250-word dialect. He should be speaking in that with an interpreter. And he should change his first name. I'm going to go ahead and what's that surname? Is that really an American Indian surname? I don't know. You could tell me. Mike is definitely not. You know, you never came across, our ancestors didn't roll up onto the plains or wherever in the United States and was like, hello, what's your name? Mike came back from the American Indian. Nah, I don't think so.
And they're benefiting from the genocide. They're benefiting.
Okay, I got it. So it is. American genocide is now anti-white narrative. I didn't know that. Somebody write that down. I didn't know that. Talk about a new meme pathogen for me personally. I had not heard that. And I am inoculated against anti-whiteism, so I'm able to deflect it. Other people won't. That little girl in Canada, not going to be able to deflect it. She's now heard the American of the Americas genocide of First Nations and all this other kind of shit. And now she doesn't want to be white. You see how it all works together? So, the genocide that now I and you and that little white girl, we have to pay back Mike for the genocide that was inflicted on American Indians.
From what happened,
According to the anti-white narrative.
We're still suffering.
And we're benefiting. Another one of these anti-white claims that is intangible. There's no way to prove it, no evidence, and therefore no way to disprove. So all logic, I'm afraid something that we perfected in the West, no logic applies here. It's all just magic. It's all just the magic smoking pipe. That's all it is.
We're still suffering from what happened. And so I want to let them know that we do not blame white America. They were not here, but we need their assistance on getting some of this land.
Getting the land back?
We had a lot of...
Okay. And it goes much further, of course, you know it does, than land. American Indians who love this country, who love the white race, who are tired of seeing the anti-whiteism, they need to stand up against garbage like this and say, no more anti-whiteism. That's why we're losing everything. You're not going to get, listen, bro, you're not going to get, not only are you not going to get more goodies and more, you're already getting shit tons from the white race, but it's going to get a lot worse as Western mores disappear. Because I wonder how the blacks and how the Mexicans and these other brown tribes, how they're going to treat you guys. Wonder how they're going to treat you.